Yo, what's goody? What's goody? Latrell in a hoodie, and welcome to another episode of the Brother Next Door podcast, where we talk about finance, personal development, skills to get you further in life through actual steps, and my own personal experiences. In this episode, we're talking about ego. This is a very important topic, a very confusing topic to some people. I think we're gonna have to talk about this topic multiple times in the podcast, spaced out, of course, but I think it's an important topic. What is ego? Ego is the self, especially as contrasted with another self or the world. That's from Merriam Webster. Understand, ego is the Latin word for I. So the way they described it, or the way they said it, was when somebody says I a bunch of times in a sentence, it usually means they're big in ego. I don't really agree with that because a lot of people do put themselves down. I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not big on this, I'm not big on that. And in a way, yes, that is your ego bringing you down, right? That is your ego telling yourself you're not enough. That is your ego telling yourself um, you have a lot of work to do, right? And so I'm gonna break it down and try to make it make more sense. But understand what we're going to talk about is how to nurture a healthy ego. Ego's not 1,000% bad. Ego's not the end of the world. Ego's not something you have to completely dismiss. There is a healthy side of ego, and I want to bring that to light. Understand when it comes to ego, it's more so talking about the your lower self, right? So you have a higher self and then you have a lower self. Your higher self is more like your spirit, your connection with God, uh, stuff like that. But your lower self is the things you've obtained on this earth, right? So the car you drive, the job you work, the things you do, like that's more your lower self. And so your ego is encompassed around that lower self. So if we can work on that lower self, and bring yourself out of all the material stuff and all the I do this, I drive that, I'm wearing this, and into I do this for people, I serve people, I care about this cause, I am passionate about whatever. I think we could be in a better place, right? So understand, biggest way to think about it is when you introduce yourself. When you introduce yourself, what do you say? Hi, my name is blank. I do blank, right? Hi, my name is Latrell. I am an engineer, right? But I've done my best to change it to hi, my name is Latrell. I am a podcaster, right? I enjoy whatever, right? And so if somebody's asking you directly, what do you do? Okay, cool. Tell them. Like, don't, don't, not tell people what you do, but start flipping that perspective of my name is blank, and the only way you identify yourself is through your job, right? You're more than your job. You're more than where you go to work every day. Yes, you spend a lot of time there, but you are a lot more. You do a lot more. You can do a lot more than just work that job. And so I challenge you guys to change that perspective of just identifying yourself through your job, right? Understand your ego does three things. The first thing it does is it prevents you from learning and growing or making your or, hold on. It prevents you from learning and growing by making you fearful to try new things. Three things that your ego can do, right? How does it do this? Say you want to start a podcast. Say you want to start going to the gym. A lot of people are scared to go to the gym. Why? Because they don't know what to do. They don't know where to start. They don't want to look. They don't want to what? They don't want to look a certain way to other people, right? And or starting a podcast. What will people think about me when I post this on social media or I put this online, right? That's your ego. That's your ego limiting you, holding you back from your current status or where you're currently at, which is your comfort zone, right? And so understand, even on the other side of the spectrum, of, leaders and bosses with their ego and not listening to their employees or the people under them. It's like, no, we're going to do it my way. No, we're going to do it this way. Why? Because they're scared that they're scared that their employee's idea is probably going to be better and, make the employee look a lot better than the boss, right? So that's where, ego on the other side can, prevent growth and prevent, you know, prevent growth from the community, prevent growth from the organization. And so you really, really want to have your ego in check. The next thing ego does, the ego gives you tunnel vision. So as you're working towards becoming somebody, making a name for yourself, proving people wrong, you're going to work, 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 and then not even understand who you are as a person. Understand what you like. Understand what you truly don't like. Understand um, how you're going to how you deal with certain situations, right? And you just start to miss all the layers, all the underlying layers of why you are the way you are. And so you spend all this time working and developing, all these nice fancy things and a name for yourself, but then you don't even know who you really are. You don't know what you really like. You don't know what you really enjoy. And so it can provide this tunnel vision to where you're spending more time trying to impress other people and making a name in the eyes of other people rather than thinking about your higher self, right? And understanding who you are at the higher level, right? So don't take too much time. Take time. As a matter of fact, forget that. Take time to meditate. Take time. I'm skipping steps. I'm skipping notes. Right. Take time to understand who you are. Take time to figure out who you are as an individual, rather than just only spending time, pursuing things and not taking that time. Right. Nothing wrong with pursuing things. Nothing wrong with wanting to become somebody cool. That's great. But also understand who you are. Understand who you possibly want to be, right? So don't get that twisted, right? Don't get that messed up. And the last thing that ego does is it separates you from the world. It makes you feel like that you are, which to a certain extent you are, which is which is healthy. You are separate from this universe. You are operating different from this universe, which you're not, right? You are interconnected, right, with this universe. Not only are you interconnected, but you're only here for a limited amount of time, which goes back to the fear. Your ego understanding, hey, we only here for a couple, for however long. We're only here for a limited amount of time. Let's be as safe as possible while we are here, right? And so you don't want to do that. You don't want to limit yourself to what you're currently doing, but be able to go further and be able to achieve more and more milestones as you spend time here on this earth, right? So yes, understand, it, in my belief, we are spiritual beings living, a physical reality for a certain period of time, right? That's all we're doing, right? And so, yes, understand that. That's healthy right there, is having that understanding, but don't let that disconnect you from the world. Don't let that, oh, I'm better than this person, I'm better than that person, let me compare myself to this person, let me compare myself to that person, I want to be here but they're there, whatever. Don't let that seep into comparison, right? And so those are the three things. So let's talk about how to fix it. Let me not give you the problems and not give you ways to fix it. C.S. Lewis said, humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less, right? What does that mean? Think of other people. Take time to think of other people, right? Take that time, right, to dig deep through the layers and figure out who you are and all that good stuff, right? So you have a good solid understanding of who your higher self is, but then also think of other people. Don't stop thinking about the material things. Stop comparing yourself. But okay, how can I serve this person? How can I best be of service to this other person, right? How do you do that? Take time out to serve, whether it's at a soup kitchen, whether it's homeless drive, whether it's Toys for Tots and you going to get toys and putting it in a bin or whatever. Whatever it may be, whatever works best for you, whether it's serving your church, whatever. But find time to serve, right? That's something I need to get back into. I'm preaching it to y'all, but I'm not doing it myself. That's something I need to get back into. I was doing it before, but it's, life has been hectic, right? And so it's something I need to get back into myself. But find time to serve at some capacity. Leave the ego at the door. That's the best ego check right there. Is being of service to other people and not thinking, you above everybody and everybody should just bow to your feet. Nah, serve other people, right? Put the nice clothes down. Put the regular clothes on, right? Put the regular clothes on. Go to your nearest, donation drive, CCA. Go donate at CCA, whatever. Go do a mission trip, and just be of service and just help people as much as you can. Next, journal. Right? I talk about this all the time on the podcast. Take time to journal. Take time to figure out how you're feeling. Take time to figure out, what makes you upset, what makes you happy, all these different things. That way you could look back on it. It's like, okay, this same situation popped up. These same emotions came up. Now I'm starting to see a pattern through my journaling, right? So that's what journaling allows you to do. And the last but not least, meditate. Take time to think. Take time to let your thoughts come to you, right? We spend so much time distracted. We spend so much time on our phones. We spend so much time with external stimulus that we don't take time to realize, take time to come up with our own thoughts. We don't take time to know how we think or what we think because we're always thinking about, or because we're always being distracted with external stimulus, whether it's from other people, like I said, or whether it's from social media, or you're distracting yourself with YouTube, whatever. Take that time to sit in silence and just, let the thoughts flow. And that's the thing. People think, oh, I'm not supposed to be letting. No, you're supposed to let the thoughts come to you. That's the point. The point is not you're supposed to be sitting in silence and no thoughts. No, the thoughts are supposed to come. The random thoughts or whatever thoughts are supposed to come. You're supposed to get an idea of, what you're thinking about, what comes into your head, throughout the day. We have so many thousand thoughts every day, but we barely remember a fraction of them. And they're reoccurring every single day, right? And so it's a good idea to just take that time to just slow down. Think whether it can be 5 minutes. You can download Calm or one of these other apps, not sponsored. Download any of these meditation apps and just take 5 minutes. Use a guided meditation app. Do it for free on YouTube. There's so many YouTube videos on meditation. And just go through a guided meditation and just, see what comes up, right? And so find that balance between understanding who your higher self is and lowering all the thoughts of the lower self of what I have, what I'm going to get, who I'm going to become, who I'm going to become better than, who I'm less than right now. Like, lower that negative side of you, raise that higher side of you, understand that higher side of you, and start devoting your time, right? Start thinking of yourself less, thinking of other people more. Start being a blessing to other people. Start devoting your time and energy to other people. Not all your time and energy, but just some of it. And just be able to equalize and balance and start to have a healthy ego. So understand ego is big, ego is important. Ego will determine a lot of things for your life if you let it. But if you're able to tame it, if you're able to control it, if you're able to make it healthy, you can use it to your benefit. You can use it to your advantage, right? Because with the healthy ego, now you know, okay, I do know this information. With ego comes self confidence, and then you're more confident to do certain things and do things better, right? And so that's why I said ego's not terrible. Ego's not the worst thing in the world, but we have to be able to control it. We have to work on controlling the ego. So that's the challenge I have for you is control your ego. So with that, I'll take it easy. Peace.